Right now, after a second deadly shooting of a U.S. citizen in Minneapolis, we take a look at how local and federal law enforcement officials cooperate with each other.
Plus, our Week of Warmth fundraiser is underway this week. We're live in Barneveld with more on how you can help.
And later, some parts of Madison are noticing delays in their mail. What the Postal Service says is the reason behind those delays. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin tonight with 2 arrests in connection with a deadly shooting on Madison's south side.
It happened on Primrose Lane near a mobile home park early yesterday morning. Police say the victim, a man in his 30s, was still alive when officers got there, but died at the scene despite life-saving efforts. A 67-year-old Madison man and a 44-year-old Madison woman were booked into the Dane County Jail. Madison police say the suspects and victim knew each other. An investigation is underway after a home exploded in Richland County. Happened in the town of Gotham Saturday night. First responders were sent to Needle Lane just after 8:30. A man and woman were inside the home at the time of the explosion and were found sheltering in a vehicle. Both suffered burns and injuries and were flown to UW Hospital in Madison. The woman reported smelling gas at about 5 p.m. while inside the home, but said she didn't investigate the smell further. The home was destroyed in that blast. Foul play is not believed to have played a role in this explosion. Over the weekend, a second U.S. citizen was shot and killed by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis.
Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte looks into the question this raises about if or how local and federal law enforcement can cooperate.
Well, protests around the country and here in Madison are calling for federal agents to get out of Minneapolis. But where does local law enforcement fit into this immigration operation, and are those agencies required to cooperate with ICE?
Wisconsin's a very purple state. Different localities have very different politics.
When it comes to cooperating with federal immigration agents, different law enforcement departments can have different policies. And the reason behind that?
Under the Constitution, local law enforcement and state law enforcement cannot be required to participate in federal law enforcement operations. They can do so voluntarily, but they can't be required to do so.
Howard Schwaber is a UW-Madison constitutional law expert.
It's a mystery to no one that where the politics supports the administration, local entities like the police forces are eager to cooperate, and the opposite is the case in a place like Madison.
For example, the Madison Police Department will only cooperate with a lawful request of ICE under these circumstances. But the Sauk County Sheriff's Office has a contract with the federal government.
They seek to contract with local sheriff's departments to house inmates, either on a pretrial basis or through immigration detainers, and they're housed in local county jails. Local sheriff's departments have been using federal contracts for decades as a revenue stream.
According to Schwaber, it's also left to local discretion because there is no statewide law creating a uniform policy.
The politics, of course, gets very, very complicated, and I presume that's why we don't have such a policy in place. There may be increased pressure going forward for a policy like that to be a...
The Wisconsin National Guard could be a slightly different story, according to Schwaber. The governor could mobilize the National Guard for state purposes, but the federal government could federalize it for national purposes.
All right, thank you, Ellie LaLiberte there. Turning to the weather, still bitterly cold, to say the least. We have Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, but a warm-up on the way?
Warm up slowly. I'm going to emphasize slowly on the way, but the main thing is that it's on the way. With very cold temperatures throughout this week in the teens, finally we'll work our way up into the mid to upper 20s by the time we get into the middle and latter part of next week, and that will be almost balmy compared to what we've been experiencing in the past 10 days or so. Temperatures in the upper 20s, that's normal for this time of year. So we're inching our way towards normal. Right now, nothing about our temperatures outside right now are normal. They're between 1 right now in Juneau and the Beaver Dam area, 4 in Madison, 6 in Boscobel, 5 in Janesville, and 7 in Camp Douglas. Zooming on in here to Dane County, we've got 4 up on the Highway 151 in Sun Prairie, going off to the west towards Mount Horeb, temperature of 6. That's it, 6. And our normal highs this time of year, 27 temperatures as we plan the night going into Tuesday. Actual air temperatures in the single digits. That is at least a little bit of improvement from where we've been the past couple of days here. Wind chills right now, they range from anywhere from -4 in Lone Rock to -14 in the Dells to -11 in Janesville. When I come back a little bit, I will track wind chills the next couple of days and let you know how cold those wind chills will be this week. And also, we're going to take a look at the last 10 days and the next 10 days to show you just how dramatic, just how impressive this temperature swing has been for southern Wisconsin. That's coming up in a little while.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. Well, today we kick off our Week of Warmth campaign benefiting the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund.
News 3 Now is looking to help make sure no Wisconsin family faces the cold alone. News 3 Now's Brady Mallory live at Vortex Optics in Barneveld with how you can help. Brady?
Okay, can I admit something? We're all friends, right? I love fancy coffee and I get it whenever I can, but the problem is it's like $5 or $6. If you know, you know. So here's my challenge for this week. If you love getting fancy coffee as much as I do, maybe skip it for a day and you can use that money to help keep our friends and neighbors in Wisconsin who are struggling right now, help them heat their homes in this brutally cold weather that we know is part of a Wisconsin winter. And we are kicking off our Week of Warmth. I'm going to set this down quick and welcome Tim Brewer with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Well, thank you for being here. We're out here at Vortex. You know, Wisconsinites are proud and hardworking people, and sometimes asking for help is hard. And so do you see a lot of people maybe suffering in silence when it comes to heating their homes?
Probably over half the people that make contact with us, and often through family, friends, concerned neighbors, knowing that their neighbor is just too proud to come forward. It's just not the people we know about in this bitter cold that are being placed in a life-threatening situation, but it's the people we don't know. We literally get hundreds of calls a day from people who alert us of somebody that's there that they're concerned about. Just this morning we had another catastrophic potential case, life-threatening, where a neighbor down the road saw water coming out of the back, and all these kids deciding that they got themselves a new ice skating rink. No. But nobody checked on that person. It was a couple, elderly couple, with their dog. Pipes again froze up. The back was with all that water spilling out, costing probably thousands of dollars now, was the only indicator. And that individual saved that person's life. And both of them, and plus they, of course, let us not forget about their dog. But at the end of the day, if you've got somebody that is out there, you know, that you want to contribute and support, that may not come forth traditionally, or you have just a neighbor, family, or member that you want to just call at Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund or Energy Services, and just alert us, and we will respond immediately. We typically get somewhere between 100 to 200 crisis cases that are life-threatening a day, particularly now where it's doubled. It's more important than ever that you reach down and help a person and give them a hand up, whether by your generous financial support. And of course, during this week and on Friday, you're going to have an opportunity to provide a lifeline to literally hundreds of households that would have no place else to turn.
And we will see you on Friday. Good talking with you, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah. And remember, like Tim was saying, your donations, 95 cents of every dollar stays here and goes to help people, individuals, local individuals who are in crisis trying to heat their homes. So let's all work together and make that better. If you can't wait until the telethon on Friday, go to channel3000.com. There is a big donation page. Whatever you can give will help our friends and neighbors in need. And we will be keeping this going all week long to make a difference. So Eric, Sarah, back to you in the studio.
All right, Brady, thank you so much. We'll have ways to donate later in this show as well. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services confirming the state's first case of measles this year. It was found in someone from Waukesha County. It is related to international travel, we are told. Now, due to privacy concerns, no additional personal identifying or health information will be released by DHS. Measles, of course, highly contagious. At this time, no public exposure locations have been identified. Symptoms include the red rash with raised bumps, high fever, cough, and red watery eyes. Measles is preventable with a vaccine. Right now, some people in Dane County are wondering when they'll get their mail. News 3 Now receiving several tips about people in both Madison and Fitchburg who received mail days late or simply not at all.
That's right. Our Tanisha Shaw talked to some of those people impacted, and Tanisha, they're hoping for better communication, right?
Yes, and I spoke to someone in Fitchburg, and I spoke to another person in Madison, and neither one of them know why they're getting their mail days late.
This is everything from credit card bills to tax documents to, things that are pretty important stuff.
Steve Wunsch is just now receiving those envelopes in his mailbox, and it was supposed to arrive a week ago.
Of course, raises concerns. What's happened to your mail? Has it been stolen? Is it lost?
Wunsch is from Fitchburg, and he told me that he stays on top of his mail. He signed up for informed delivery through USPS. It lets residents know when they'll receive mail, but lately they've been notifying Wunsch, but the mail itself has been late or yet to come.
We've had numerous episodes now where mail's been delayed long time, several days, 5 days or longer.
Lynn Rush is from Madison, and she's dealing with the same exact problem.
There was no mail delivery last week, Monday through Friday. Of course, Monday was a holiday, and none of us would have expected to receive mail on Monday, but then there was not mail for the rest of the week.
USPS did not respond when I asked them for an on-camera interview, but they told me via email that the heavy snowfall and extreme weather impacted their services, but mail is expected to be delivered by the end of today unless the area has snow or ice.
All right, Tanasia, thank you. Tax season is now underway. You could be seeing a larger refund this year.
Coming up next, we take a closer look at some of the big changes this year and how they could impact you.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, the countdown to tax season is over. Today is the first day to file, but there are some changes to keep in mind.
So exciting. And with President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, you could be seeing a larger refund this year. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn breaks down why that is and how these changes might affect you.
These changes from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act went into effect in July. And because the IRS didn't update withholding tables, taxpayers like us will have paid more than required in taxes, meaning we could see a larger return. Now, that's for 2025 filing specifically, as the IRS will eventually update those withholding tables. But if you're a middle-income family with kids, a worker who earns tips or overtime, or a senior citizen, you might see that bigger refund. When looking at the standard deduction, which is the amount of income that's not taxed, this amount has gone up for 2025. Take a look at your screen. These numbers are reflecting both the IRS and Trump's budget bill changes. Seniors get a bonus $6,000 deduction, and the state and local tax deduction is temporarily raised from $10,000 to $40,000. So middle-class families will certainly feel that relief right there. For the child tax credit, it increased by $200, but new eligibility rules might affect some mixed status and immigrant families. The child must be a U.S. citizen, live with you more than half the tax year, and both the filer and child must have a Social Security number. The maximum child tax credit is $2,200 per qualifying kid. The 2025 tax law also adds new deductions you can claim before calculating your taxable income, such as a $10,000 tax-free deduction for car loan interest if your vehicle qualifies. You'll need to check your car's VIN number to see if it's made in the U.S. for that.
Michelle Renee, thank you. And certainly a lot of changes to be aware of. You can find them attached to this story linked at channel3000.com. Michelle Renee also reminds that lower income filers who already owe little or no tax may not experience much change this year. Higher income taxpayers may benefit less due to phase outs on some credits and deductions. Still ahead, how you can enjoy some special menus and support local restaurants around the area this week.
Plus, the Frozen Assets 5K Run Walk is less than 2 weeks away. We'll tell you how organizers are making sure the conditions for the event are good to go.
And do we have any alert days for cold in our near future? Alex returns his complete forecast after a short break. The Clean Lakes Alliance is out drilling the ice on Lake Mendota today.
And they're drilling to measure conditions for the upcoming Frozen Assets 5K Run Walk. This winter event is the only run walk in the world that we know of entirely held on the ice. So right now, the ice on Lake Mendota, they're drilling. It's more than 12 inches thick. That's double the required 6 to 8 inches needed for the event.
Frozen Assets is all about celebrating our local lakes. When they're frozen, they're our largest parks. So we're inviting everybody to come down for free ice skating on the plaza, free hot chocolate. We're also going to have snow snake, ice demonstrations, lots of things when people come down. And of course, all the kites over Lake Mendota here at the Edgewater.
The Frozen Assets 5K takes place Saturday, February 7th as part of the annual Frozen Assets Festival.
Struggling to get above 10 for a high temperature today. We kind of celebrated that, though, after the last few days. Alex, when are we going to get back to normal here?
We'll eventually get back to normal here in about 7 to 10 days, and we will make it there. Started mentioning last week that our trend towards warmer weather is on the way for southern Wisconsin. We see that here in our 10-day trend, getting back into the mid to upper 20s, and that's normal for this time of year. But I want to take a peek at this next graph right here. This is a really important one. Let's take this one full screen here so it's really easy, or a little bit easier for everybody to see. What you're seeing on the left is January 13th, when we were well above normal. Our high temperature got to 53 degrees, that yellow line, way above normal. Then you march out about 10 days and our high temperatures were down to -3, -4. That's nearly a 60 degrees swing in just 10 days in southern Wisconsin. And then as you look to the right, up from today, our temperature's right around 10 or so. We're slowly going to work our way back into the 20s. But just an incredible swing over the past 10 days here in southern Wisconsin, the past 2 weeks, and we're slowly going to work our way out of that. Now, we haven't worked our way completely out of it, not even close. We're 4 in Madison, 5 in Lone Rock, 5 in Janesville, 7 in Camp Douglas. That's the actual air temperatures. Put a little breath of wind out there. It doesn't take much, and it feels like -9 in Madison, -10 in Camp Douglas, -11 in Janesville. And remember, it's the wind chill is the feels like factor. That's what your body is responding to for conditions like frostbite as examples. As we get into Tuesday morning, -5 to -15 wind chills. As we head toward Wednesday morning, approaching -15 to -20, and we might get a little bit colder than -20 on Thursday, but we're starting to get a bit more acclimated to these bitterly cold temperatures that will probably not have alert day conditions for the rest of this week. Low temperatures tonight in the single digits above 0, just a tiny chance of a little light snow. The light snow chance is very, very small, and temperatures staying pretty steady, but breezy conditions on Tuesday. Future Track showing just a fleeting chance of a flurry or a snow shower as we go into tonight, going on into Tuesday. Most places will stay dry, and there we go. No big winter storms, no big snowstorms in our forecast. The good news is balmy temperatures. Yeah, I'll call it balmy temperatures by the time we get to the middle and end of next week.
We'll take it, Alex. Thank you. And with these winter temperatures staying for a while, News 3 Now is asking you for help in supporting the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund through the Week of Warmth. Out of every dollar that is donated, 95 cents will go directly to help those in crisis stay warm and safe. It all leads to our telethon on Friday. If you'd like to donate, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. And we also have a link to the donation page at our website, channel3000.com.
Well, Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week is back, giving diners a chance to sample special menus, but also support local restaurants across the area. The annual event runs through January 30th, so not much longer. Diners are encouraged to donate money as well, or non-perishable food items at the participating restaurants to support the River Food Pantry. This will help stock shelves for neighbors in need. You can find a full list of participating restaurants, and I'm hungry right now, and the menus on channel3000.com.
And Kay is here with a look at sports.
Yes, definitely. Coming up next in sports, Giannis details on his future with the Bucks. Next on News 3 Now.
Now sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
Well, guys, the Bucks haven't been playing well with Giannis, so without him, you can only imagine what this team will look like for the next 4 to 6 weeks, because the same calf injury he dealt with earlier in the season returned against Denver, taking Giannis off the floor for at least the next month. Conveniently, this came after him saying the team has been playing selfishly, but head coach Doc Rivers is not worried about it at all and feels it's all a part of the game.
And things happen, and it's concerning because this is, really 3 or 4 years in a row, right? I don't even know that. So, he plays a lot of basketball. He really does. Summers, then body doesn't get a lot of breaks, and, that's tough.
The one thing about going on a win streak is that it has to eventually end, and that's what happened yesterday for Wisconsin men's basketball. After missing shots left and right when it mattered most, the Trojans took advantage, handling Wisconsin a gut-wrenching loss, saying that they honestly feel that they'll have no problem bouncing back from.
I just feel like, we took our foot off the gas, Shots wasn't falling, all around for us today, and, we had that lead with just, toughness plays, rebounds, offensive rebounds, and then maybe got a little bit comfortable. Something we spoke about, and we just looking forward to the next game.
And now on the ice, Wisconsin women and men's hockey will be heading to Minnesota for a border battle this weekend. You can catch the men's games on our sister channel, Television Wisconsin, Friday at 7 and Saturday at 6. If that's not enough, this week's guest on the Wisconsin Huddle is Star Badger Quinn Finley. And as always, the episodes will air right here on News 3 Now, Fridays at 6:30.
All right, Kay, thanks. Final check of the weather with Alex.
Not quite as cold, but still cold. Bundle up. Look at our low temperatures tonight in the single digits above zero, so there's some plus there. We'll actually be plus, not negative. But our wind chills will get down to -5 to -15. Highs tomorrow right around 10. Breezy conditions. Can't rule out an isolated snow shower. And then that slow climb, finally back up into the balmy readings of the mid-20s to near 30 degrees by the time we get to the end of next week. I can guarantee you people will be in shorts by that time.
We'll be excited. Thanks, Alex. Sure. And thank you for watching News 3 Now at 6 o'clock. We have Entertainment Tonight up next. And don't forget, donate to the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. You just need to scan that QR code on your screen to get to the website.
Our next newscast coming up tonight at 10, and you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000. Plus, again, thanks for watching. Have a great night. Stay warm out there. We'll see you again tonight.